We were talking about your time on Undisputed. Do you hear from like when what goes down and you end up leaving the network? Do you hear from like Colin and Skip or any of these guys or Shannon? Do they reach out just to like
Yeah, Colin and I are great friends still. I'm friends with a lot of people that I used to work with. Not everyone, obviously, but Colin is just the best. Colin is
he's really built a volume into like a juggernaut, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Colin's the man. He's like one of the most professional, just great, consistent people that I've ever worked with in the business. Like he cares about doing a good show and his family. And like that's it.
Was he pretty like was it easy to kind of integrate yourself into that role on his show?
It was because I was the fill-in person for that show. So
you were that's true,
doing Undisputed, whenever his co-host was out, I would fill in with him. So we had already done a considerable amount of shows together, both on radio only and in studio. So it was pretty easy. Plus I had done radio for many years. So the radio format was easy for me. And Colin is he's just very easy to work with. He is a huge prepper. He does 2 hours of prep before every show.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah. I can't do it. Like I cannot talk through the entire show and then do the show again. The first version is going to be the better version. And he is almost like an actor in that he can like do the line with the same energy every single time. But he just really wants a well planned out show. So there was never really a lot of guessing. Like I never felt unprepared for what I needed to do because he doesn't like him and I would do like some personality stuff. Like, oh, like what'd you do this weekend? But it would be for like 30 seconds.
Right.
He doesn't want, 5 minutes of air where we're, discussing our favorite sandwiches or something, or our hot dogs and sandwich. He doesn't want that because he doesn't think that that's what people are coming to him for, and he wants the audience to get what they are coming to him for, which is sports talk in an entertaining way. So it was a hard challenge to do the show because the show is 3 hours and it is a big platform. But working with him is very easy because he's just always very prepared.
Talk to me about what's it like pivoting and being able to kind of like. Because we always hear, I remember when Jamil Hill had gone through what she went through because she brought politics up. And there was all this outrage, people ain't going to you for that. You've been pretty outspoken in terms of like just what's going on in the world, which I think, I wouldn't call it outspoken. I would call it being a human.
Yeah.
But for you, like, because I feel like you would speak up about certain shit, like, even like a kind of like even on the air, but like in like a real like like a wink kind of way. For you, like how dope is it now where you're able to do you have your own platform and you're just unapologetically yourself. You could talk about policy, you could talk about all this shit. Like it's got to be dope.
Yeah, I think I've always been someone who knows what's going on in the world. And I'm not a practicing journalist,
right?
But I have the proper traditional training as a journalist. I still think it's important to know the story before talking about it. So, caring about what's going on in the world or having an opinion about politics or social issues or whatever everyone's talking about has always been part of who I am. But to your point, not having a platform, and I don't like to force things into platforms that they don't belong.
Right.
It's been great for me to be able to have too personal to talk about these things. I think some people are getting to know me a little bit better. The people that have always known me or have followed me for a really long time are not surprised. But yeah, I'm like a little more outside now. And
yeah, when you were telling the story about like, I think it was like an ex-boyfriend of yours that you were like taking care of.
Well, we've all been there.
No, that's a relatable. I feel like that was like super relatable. That's the kind of shit where like you're gonna have new fans and be like, oh yeah, she's this the girl from the sports show, like.
Yeah. So that's an opportunity to tell those stories. And look, I'm 38 years old. I've lived some life. And
100%. But I think like you said, I think it's like people have become invested in like these personalities, even though they know them from like, Shannon Sharp's a perfect because people were so invested in what was going on with his personal life.
Yeah.
Even prior to the lawsuit, when he had the chick on the FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? Like, which was insane. But I feel like, there's Twitter pages that are literally just about like what's going on with like sports announcers' lives.
Yeah, I mean, we've become like, I don't know, it's like this cottage. We're almost like WWE characters or something.
Yes. That's
like we're not just, and that's why I really harp on like I'm not a journalist, because I think journalists are like doctors or teachers or lawyers in that they have a certain obligation to society to be as unbiased as humanly possible and like tell the story. And in today's world, that is even more necessary than probably ever, because the story, we are in a post-truth society.
For sure.
So I came up in the business with the intention of being a personality. I always wanted to be someone who reacts to the story, not tells the story.
Makes sense.
But what's happening now is we are also the story.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, an unavoidable development of being a personality. But yeah, it's just a new world.
Do you get to the point where you become friends with any of these athletes and you're very, like, you kind of hold back a little if they have like a bad game or anything like that?
Of course. Everybody does. Anybody who says they're not doing that is lying. Liars. Lying. Not faking it, just the hard L word.
Like there's guys who like you'll be like, yeah, that's the homie. I'm gonna take it a little easier.
But I also don't go hard in a disrespectful way on people either.
Right.
Like
you've never done that where you're like shitting. I mean, like,
Like, I mean, if somebody is, I'm not going to say I've never gone hard on anybody, but for me, I always want to be able to face anybody that I speak about. So
like you're going to run into them eventually. You don't want them to look at you like, yo, you weren't fair.
Right. Like if I run into our crackhead Secretary of Health, I'm going to tell him he's an unqualified crackhead.
Right.
Who should not be running the Department of Health.
Hey, Tylenol, man.
It's fucking insane. I'm sorry. You cannot be a retired crackhead and run the Department of Health. It's not. I
think he did heroin. To be fair, I think it was heroin.
I don't care what the fuck it is. He's unqualified, and I would happily tell him to his face he's unqualified. There's plenty of things I'm unqualified for, by the way. Jobs I would not take because I'm not qualified for them. But you will not catch me in a job I'm unqualified for. So yeah, if I say something about someone, I want to be able to say it to their face. It's just I wouldn't describe myself as the, perfectly principled person.
Right.
But I want to always be able to stand on that. So if I'm like not crushing someone the way that maybe I would if I didn't know them.
Right.
In contrast, if I don't know someone, I'm not going to be unfair to them either.
Who is like a friend of yours that you just like?
I can't reveal. I cannot reveal my sources. Okay, obviously, I'm never going to crush my nephew, right? Like
fair.
And I'm telling you now, I'm going to be nice to the Jets because my nephew plays for them. Like,
that makes sense.
And like, be mad at me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Jets got something going.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always going to be much more pleasant to the Jets.
See, that makes sense.
Than I have been in years past because my nephew plays for them, and that's it. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. That's obviously.